Well, we're almost live on Facebook. So it's a little process, takes a few minutes for the two systems to get to know each other and to reconnect. But it's so wonderful. We can just go right from Zoom right into Facebook, and we're now broadcasting live in Facebook. So good morning, everyone, to our Thursday morning business chat. Gregory and Robin here in Montana, welcoming you. And we had a very exciting, just, quick heads up. We're a little behind schedule on listening to Phil Jones because our youngest son got married yesterday afternoon. Woohoo!
Wow.
So we got a new daughter in the process. We had a fabulous day. And so all excuses are equal. That's my excuse. But Robin and I were lying in bed this morning, an hour ago thinking, well, we got to be on the call in an hour and it's about an hour training. We better turn it on. So we're lying there in bed listening to Phil Jones, and he keeps saying profundity or profundity after profundity. I don't even know if that's a word, but so many profound, simple statements. I'm going, this guy is really good, Wishing I had a notepad, and I'm saying, Robin, write that down. And she doesn't have a notepad either. We're lying there in bed, right, with the dogs and the cat. And she grabs her phone and starts sending me emails for that quote, and then another email with this quote. So my conviction is I'm going to go back and listen to it and take copious notes. It's just too good. We could just stop with episode 1 and we could all build fabulous businesses. So
I got to get my Bluetooth off of here.
Yeah, we're
so that we can hear it.
We're hearing you quite well, Molly.
We hear you, Molly.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Kira, there's Kira. Hey, there you are, outside.
Yay. So I just like to, maybe turn it over to, start out with Helen. It was you and Tim's brainchild. I'll turn it over to you this morning to just kick it off. But I think we just want to hear any profundities that any of you got out of it. He is just a brilliant sales trainer. He's got to be one of the world's best sales trainers.
Well, I think Gregory, he said he's lectured he's done over 1,500 lectures in like over 100 countries.
2,500 lectures in 57 countries on 5 continents to 2 million people.
Yeah.
So and we're part of that group. Yay!
We are.
Yeah. So we're doing this today because, well, first several of us saw Phil Jones at the conference, and he was so outstanding. So our company invested in us. So I feel like it's time for us to invest in us by accepting the great gift of these Empower Series speakers. So it starts with Phil. He was hired to host it. And so now, since some people went and saw it, some people didn't, we thought we'd be playful and have, as a team, we all watch it together as if it was like a book club, and then we're going to chat about it. What did we get out of this? So we'll be chatting about it on these Thursday morning calls. And also the Thursday morning call will be in our Facebook page, so you can make comments. So whoever interacts and shares, all their names will be put into a little app that has a spinner, and we'll hit the button and somebody's going to win, X39, a whole sleeve of X39. So that's great. Gregory, you have another idea. Whoever submits the best notes, is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I'm just so inspired. And like I said, I was a little handicapped taking notes in bed. I am going to go back and listen and take notes, but I wanted to put out to this team, because this is a very small elite team that's live on this call. And maybe, we'll extend to the folks listening to the replay, but on a weekly basis, and I hope Robin's okay with this, I didn't run it by her. On a weekly basis, I want to offer a one sleeve reward to the person that writes the best notes for this week's episode. And then we'll share those notes with everybody, and we'll send you a sleeve of X39, because I know some of you are probably court scribes, or
I'm up for the challenge.
Okay.
I'm in. So good.
Great. So this is official. It's an official, first week of the weekly contest. The best notes submitted, and let's say, I don't know when they need to be submitted by. I'd like to include them, you know, as an attachment on our Monday evening, on our Monday newsletter. So let's just say a
Wow.
Sunday night? Sunday
Sunday
night?
night deadline. So that gives us a
He
chance.
needs time to look at them. I think we need to do it before Sunday night.
Well, it
Yeah, thank you.
won't take him that long to look at him, probably. For you to look at him, Gregory? Is that
No,
what you
for
said?
Robin to look at them.
Okay. Whoever's gonna look at him might need, you know, but the Monday newsletter goes out at 4 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever works for you, Gregory.
Okay. I think Sunday night, that's why he gives people, because it's already Thursday.
Right.
And
Some people haven't listened to it yet.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that kind of turns up the heat, but love to get some, you know, and it doesn't have to be a verbatim, you know, not a transcript. We don't want a transcript, okay? But there's a few key phrases he uses throughout it. And I was going through and looking at the 38 page, I just printed it. You know, the 38 page document that he provided, I'm sure they're all in there also, but in a different sequence. So since we're going to go through them week by week, I think it would be really good. And I think that document is mostly Phil Jones's stuff. And it does incorporate other speakers that he had in week 3, 4, 5, and 6, or et cetera. So anyway, that's our contest. So let's, you know, jump into the juice. Who wants to share, some ahas or some key phraseology that you learned from Phil?
I want to share something. This is Karen. I love the way he says the few simple things. And I think the reason that I love the way he says, interrupt someone's day long enough. I have so many people who say, well, I don't want to call. I'm afraid I'll bother them, or I'm afraid I'll bug them. So just the fact that he uses the phraseology, interrupt someone's day long enough to uncover a problem they didn't know they had, or especially one we didn't know they had, because they probably didn't. And I just love that part of it. And the whole thing is so good. And offer a product they hadn't known existed and make it easy to take the next step. I thought that was so beautiful in its simplicity.
That was the job description. I love that too. That was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Wendy, you had your hand up, hon. What were you going to say?
Which ones do you want? His basic thing was to do the basics with the high standard consistently, which apparently is what we're supposed to be doing all the time. And the thing that hit me when I rewatched it was to don't be in a place where we're assuming people aren't interested, or that they don't have the money, or that they can't
This
do
is
it.
the Thursday morning thing we were going to do with Helen and Tim.
Because with everything that's going on, this might be the reason why they are interested. This might be what's keeping them into the place where they want to get involved.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we've always called that falling in love with the process, you know, and we're in the sharing and caring business. And when you add that job description to interrupt their day long enough, et cetera, I don't have it consigned to memory, but you know, that's just so brilliant. That's our job, to just do a really nice interruption. Don't say, how are you?
Right.
That was, you know,
How are you holding up?
How are you
How
holding
are
up?
yeah, you know, with all this stuff. And then,
I was thinking of you.
I was thinking of you.
Yeah.
so I think on our Monday call, we probably should do an encapsulated training of the key points from episode 1.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people aren't going to listen to it or haven't listened to it, and maybe that'll drive them to it. And even if they don't, we can encapsulate the essence of it.
So Gregory, are you saying on this Monday night, we're not going to cover episode 2 like we originally thought?
Well, I think we should do like Phil does, you know, at the end of Monday night, and say, now this week we're going to go over number 2. And in number 2, we do. You know, so maybe we'll put a teaser at the end of Monday night and say, so everybody this week, you want to listen to episode number 2, because in that blah, blah, blah. But I just think that there's so much value in number 1.
Right.
I really think if we just got people to listen to number 1 and never listen to anything else, their business is going to blossom.
Oh,
But I'm sure there's so much more in the other 7 episodes.
so I have something to share. So
Yeah.
after you find out the context, which is how you're holding up, you have empathy and you learn about what's going on for people in these strange times. Then you can insert your content. So when they ask you what's going on, and you share, and you know that's the magic of the magic words, right? So Phil Jones says, you know how some people, and so it's like some people during these times are, you know, some people have lost their jobs, some people are looking for another source of income, which means that, and what I do, and then you insert what you do with like is partner with a company. I love how he says that. I partner with a company named LifeWave. And that's when we can throw in a scientific research and development company. We can do that. And then I love how Phil says, once you tell them what you do and you help people with energy, or, you know, people who are having trouble with sleep or pain. And then I love this, Phil says, can you think of anyone who might benefit from these products? You know, because you do not go right into them. You just say, can you think of someone? And then the person will likely say, well, me. I mean, hello. I love that. I love how Phil's like, you don't go for them. Like, is this something that would interest you? You kind of go in the back door. Yeah.
That's
Really
awesome.
good.
And I'm going to put this up here. Is it backwards to you guys? It is to me.
No,
Nothing happens unless you make it happen.
Oh, yes. I love
I
that.
just love that.
Oh. Yeah, so many gems. Oh,
So I wanted to share what struck me right away was he said, you know, and this is the mindset change, just to really get that there are people out there who are praying for what we have to offer. They're praying for what we have to offer, for health issues, for financial issues. So that was cool. And then it was like, you know, so he's so great, and we're all going, wow. And I could never do that. And he goes, just don't go for wow, go for how. How does he do that? And that involves practice. So he talks about how the best way to practice is to practice on a stranger. Because sometimes if we were to tell a family or friend and they say no, then we might have this emotional pain, charge, rejection, all that. So go out and like really old friends, like friends you've had for a long time, and you start to practice on them. And when you think about it, everybody has to practice, like musicians, athletes. So they go, you know, every job, anything you do, you have to practice before you get better. So if like you're an athlete and you fail, then you're never going to win the gold medal, you know, but you have to go ahead and fail. And LB, what did you like best about what you did? And NT, you know, next time. So you're going to learn, you know, what did work, what didn't work. So I like that. And then he said, change your words, change your world. So I highly recommend buying his book and, you know, hearing his talk. So it's, he's amazing. I think that was it for me. Tim, you had something.
Well, somebody just said about half of what I was about to say. But instead of going, wow, it was so simple, go from wow to how. But I mean, his whole thing was use questions to help the person you're talking to discover the problem they maybe didn't realize they had. I could listen to everyone on this call and go, wow, I don't know if I could do that. But I could go, wow, how did they do that? And how am I going to do that? It just brings it back. And the way he uses questions to get the context. So you know what your content is, because you don't want to go in and start blabbing about a business when they have no interest in business. They really have an illness or whatever. So it really just makes so much sense and seems like, well, that'd be simple. But it's a whole mindset that you have to get into. And when I get over that notion that I have to change my mind and discover that my mind can work like that, this is going to work a lot better.
Did you know that you may qualify to get up to $144 added back to your...
No, I didn't.
What?
Thank you, Bob.
By the way, in case somebody doesn't know who, you know, it's Phil Jones, and his book is Exactly What to Say. So well written, just pop through it. You can, you know, just
a little book too, Helen. It's like, tell people, don't be afraid. It's a little book.
Yeah, imagine learning how to be as amazing as Phil Jones.
Oh yeah, Tim's holding it up.
that thick.
That thick. Does anybody else want to share their takeaways from the film?
Hey, Helen, I'd like to, until somebody else comes on, I'd like to piggyback a little on what you said about to do this with people you've known, haven't seen for years and years, or strangers. I was really impressed with the reason that your family doesn't listen to you is they see you in a certain way. They see you with a certain set of knowledge and a certain amount of abilities. They don't see you as this business person that suddenly knows of all this like magic products and all these wonderful things that work. And so they have this preconceived image of you. So when you practice with people you haven't seen for years and years, or that you really don't know very well, they don't have that preconceived image. And I think we all knew that on a subconscious level, but I like hearing the actual words when they're saying it.
Yeah.
Or how he said it, I mean.
Karen, thank you.
That was really good.
Who else? Robin, Gregory, you want to share something? So just hanging out in your bed listening today? I love it, working from home in your bed.
I know, I love it. Hey, just a suggestion, Gregory and Robin, Helen taught me this. In your phone, you have a notes app, notes. You can just take notes, like Robin sent you an email, but you can just put it in your phone in the notes section.
Yes, I should do that.
Yeah. And then you can copy and
Robin
paste.
should learn to do that.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Yeah.
She's smiling, but it's not a good smile.
Uh-oh.
Well, I do want to say one more thing. At the conference, I was one of the people Phil talked to. He said, you have to know what you're going to say. So when someone says, what do? You shouldn't really be thinking of it in the moment. You should already have it figured out. How do you figure it out? By watching Bill's video, right?
Yes.
Over and over again. So, and then, by practicing the things that he says till one day you're good at it. So, right, he's saying, know what you're going to say, what you're going to ask, because when you ask the questions, you're kind of taking charge of the conversation.
Yeah.
So the whole point is really about them. What is their need? How do we fill their need? How do we help their lives? And that's what we're about, sharing and caring.
And that's doing the basics to a high standard
Consistently.
consistently.
Yeah.
And I think it was Shakespeare that once said, if man were but constant, and I'm sure he's talking about women too. No, he wasn't, because women are. That's right. He's saying, look, guys, if man were but constant, he would be perfect, And Phil also said something about practice. Perfection just doesn't happen. I think, Tim, you were mentioning that. It's that 10,000 hours, that it takes to become a master of anything. And it begins with, 10 hours and then 100 hours and then 1,000 hours. But practicing, and if we could get just people to learn to care and share. And I love that we didn't use the term follow-up. We're in a caring and sharing business. He kind of tore up the follow-up word, didn't he?
Yeah.
So we're in the caring and sharing business. And if we just recognize we have a right to interrupt people briefly, and so, giving people some scripts, I'm thinking, since I'm working on the evolution of version 2.0 of the Getting Started Guide, we probably want to incorporate some of his scripts into that guide because they're so valuable. I mean, we have some of them in there, but I think we could expand that, some of his wisdom into the guide to make it more valuable.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting at the conference, Helen. Nobody that he talked to got it right.
Thank you.
That whole entire room, he must have talked to maybe 6 or 10 different ones. And everybody had a different answer. And all of these are seasoned network marketers, and nobody got it right. That tells us how much expertise he has and how valuable his information is and how new it is to us. So it's going to be a paradigm shift for us to learn it. And that's why we do need to practice it, but it's really going to make a big difference, I think.
Yeah, before he came to me, he had been to a few other people, and none of the answers were great. I think mine was something like, I like to help people feel better. And he goes, what are you doing, selling drugs? I was like, I'm like, no. I had to laugh because nobody else said anything.
That was cute.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So
And for those of us that weren't at the conference, because I wasn't able to be there, in the InTouch app, the whole 90-minute training is available to watch. It's not available to send or share with people, but it's available for all LifeWave distributors. Go in and watch that 90-minute presentation he gave at the January conference.
Mhm.
yeah.
Remember him asking at the conference, guys, when he said, if you go out to coffee with a prospect, whose coffee should go cold?
Yeah.
And nobody got it right. Remember? Because it should be your coffee because it should be your prospect's coffee because they're talking.
Yeah.
They're so excited because you as the sharer and carer, you're sharing a message, but you're asking questions, and then you just sit back and listen. Isn't that right? Did I get that right, Helen?
Yeah. Drink your coffee. There's
You're sipping your coffee and your prospect is talking, and then you're getting information from them.
So I'm looking, we're getting close to the end of our call, and I'm rethinking, and maybe after the call, maybe Michelle, you and I could chat, you and Michelle and Helen, about how we want to handle next Monday. Maybe we just want to do some highlights, a short little highlights on our Monday night call of this episode 1, and dig a little deeper on episode 2, like we originally discussed.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So. Mhm.
Yeah. Bait the hook a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I wanted to welcome my grandniece, Nicole Dick, to our team and to our conversation this morning. Glad you could join us, Nicole.
Yeah. Hello,
Hi,
Nicole. Huh. So any final thoughts, Phil Jones, or anything else that we wanted to cover, this morning?
Oh. I just wanted to say hi, guys.
That's my grandniece.
Hi, the grandniece.
Nicole, I love
Nicole.
Beautiful.
I am so excited. I wasn't really prepared to be on video, but I will be next time.
That's a
You
sweet.
know the morning feeling, trust me.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Robin's gonna chime in. And I guess I didn't get a chance to listen to the training yesterday, the David Schmidt training on carnosine, on our special, but that
Very
special will
exciting.
run for 2 more days, today and tomorrow. Buy 2X39, get a free carnosine.
And they did say it would be up on our YouTube channel, LifeWave YouTube.
Yeah, they said probably by Monday.
Oh, good, Karen, because I have people asking. A lot of people, it was technical difficulties. A lot of people couldn't get
Yeah.
on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I couldn't either. I had to have Darlene had to put her phone by the speaker, and I listened in through her because I couldn't get anything but October 7th all day.
Right. They had some issues, yeah, but it did finally get going.
Okay, well, as soon as it shows up, somebody posted on the Facebook group so everyone else can get to it. Great. And so we're going to start right after this call. We're going to get together with Tim and Helen, and we're going to do a post on Facebook to get the ball rolling. The conversation started, for today, following today's chat. So we're going to use today's chat on Facebook as a platform to get the discussion going on episode 1 of Phil Jones.
Okay.
Yay, LifeWave. What a great gift, really.
Yeah.
I've never met a company who has invested in all of us so much as LifeWave. Those who were at conference, honestly, you felt like you were a princess.
Yeah.
Or a prince. They were just rolling out the carpet, giving. It was pretty cool, including Phil Jones' book, Exactly What to Say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God bless, honorable mention Jim Caldwell, because he's the one that pulled that together. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have had, this whole process in play. So, and he's building a spectacular team. His sales and marketing team is really strong.
So you can go to empowerlifewave.com, and the password is X39, and the X is case sensitive. So join us, everybody. Let's do this whole series together and have a lot of fun and learn.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I think we're complete here. So thanks, everyone. Have a great Thursday and aloha from Montana.
Aloha from Colorado.
See y'all. Bye-bye.
Later, everybody.
Good call.